Welcome again to another CIRF report. I think the big word for this coming week is drama. And then we need to really talk about, because of this drama, the solution. The solutions towards the end. If you don't have time to muddle through all the influences, which we're going to get into astrology, collective unconscious, a lot of different things, and even an I-Ching reading, if you're don't have enough time for that, slide that slider to the back half of this video and you can at least see the solution. Let's see here. I do have a couple of announcements, and for those of you who are interested in the live shows, there is still a learning curve. I was doing a project a couple days ago. A lot of you showed up because I accidentally hit start streaming. I was trying to record, and so that's why you didn't hear my audio. My audio was taken into another software program. But anyway, we're going to hopefully not make those mistakes. I do have a live show planned. That's tomorrow morning at 9:15 Central, and the link is already the link will be below, so you can click on that, hit the reminder. If you're not available, that's not a problem. You just won't be able to be part of the live chat, okay, which is not a problem. Go over to Telegram if you're interested in putting questions out ahead of time. I'm going to put a notification down in Telegram and saying if you have any specific questions, mainly about the Leo full moon coming up, we're going to talk about that in the live show from an astrology standpoint. So go to Telegram and wait for that note to come out, and then put comments down below on that. The link to Telegram is down in the comment section below. And then just remember to subscribe, first of all. We already talked about Telegram. And then just in case YouTube goes down at some point, the backup channel is over at Rumble. So National Dream Center over there. The link is down below as well. And then finally, I am willing to receive donations, and that link is below. Although realize that I am not going to beg for donations. I don't need your money. But if you want to support the channel and feel compelled to give, that link is also below. That money is going to go to the National Dream Center with these added services and products. Okay. And we'll maybe talk about that tomorrow in the live show as well. All right, let's get started with our summary slide. We have a very high congruency score, and all these overlaps. We have the big portion of this Leo full moon is both the good and the bad. Okay, so let me talk about what these circles mean really quick. The I-Ching says dangerous depths. That's like being out in the middle of the ocean. And in terms of astrology and the I-Ching, the water is experience, emotions, and in the dangerous depths, it feels like you're being lost at sea, and in the ocean, it's dark in there, and it can feel like you're drowning in emotion. So, and emotions bring drama. Leo full moon is very dramatic as well. It's like the inner child comes out. So how the full moon works out is that there's some drama or dangerous depth side to the Leo full moon, because there's a T-square involved in this, and full moons are sort of crazy anyway, right? They produce a lot of dramatic energy as well. So, but we also have some positive side that the dangerous depths doesn't cover. We have some astrology that is going to produce, and we'll talk about this today, but also tomorrow in the live show about the Leo full moon. It's not just this crazy dramatic. It's also some very special wisdom and positivity and optimism that's coming in there. All right. Then we have the Dreambot that has some mysterious word dragon at the very top with a really high surge score. So we want to explore that, plus human experience, where that directly overlaps with the dangerous depths of the I-Ching and the Leo full moon of the astrology. Now, the Dreambot kind of leaks out off to the side because of this dragon thing, and that's curious. We're going to talk about that, and we'll start there in our exploration, but keep in mind, very high congruency score because of all these circles are overlapped on each other. We have a couple T-squares to talk about. The warrior and the rebel, Mars and Uranus, are conjunct, so a lot here, folks. So let's get started with the collective unconscious and the Dreambot next. And remember to subscribe, smash the like button. I appreciate everybody's support. All right, the Dreambot. Why is Dragon up at the top with 70 hits? Now, what I do, just so you know, it's one thing to have a high surge score. It's another thing to have support underneath it. So when I look at Dragon, it can mean a lot of different things. And I don't see a lot of support underneath in this run that concern with like this mystical or mythical creature. Or there is a word animal down below, but that's the only support there, that in my opinion. What is more supportive is something like a vehicle, because you've got car, seat, and even deep, which might imply deep space. Check this out. Where is my... Boom. Dragon. Dragon just happens to be in SpaceX, but two types of vehicles. There's a cargo dragon and a crew dragon. So the crew's apparently taking people through space. And this is the SpaceX website. Dragon spacecraft is capable of carrying up to 7 passengers to and from Earth orbit and beyond. There's a lot of news recently of this. I didn't have time to explore, and I don't want. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get this back into. I had it blown up too much. There we go. And so anyway, there it is. I don't know why that's at the top of the run, Dragon, but I think it has more to do with SpaceX than anything else. Comments below if you think of something else that I'm missing here. I'm open to ideas. Dreams are very metaphoric. Maybe some big news coming with SpaceX, the Dragon series vehicles. Who knows? Maybe not. Okay, next. The blue arrows is amazing. It's eye-watering, lots of arrows that have to do with human experience. Just all sorts of, there's some negativity, there's some positivity. And, at the top, if that means anything, laughing, so very positive at the top. Of course, not all laughing is positive. We could be cynical and making fun of other people. That's not very positive. So don't just think of positive and negative. But anyway, there's a lot of experience. And I even left out things like mom and sister, so like people. But these are definitely even more part of the human experience, including ended and dead is not part of our thing, but it could be. So pretty much that whole run is just about lots of human experience and more about emotions than anything else. All right, let's get into the astrology. It's where a lot of you like to see what's happening here. All right. There's not much happening in terms of transits into different signs, but Mercury towards the end of Aquarius is going to go retrograde and then stay in Aquarius. All right. So that'll be something we talk about. Then we have 2 planets that are on that same vertical azimuth as the sun, which is Saturn and Jupiter. We're already past the Cazimi with Saturn. Now we're going to be hitting the Cazimi with Jupiter. All right. And when it goes Cazimi, because it's on the same azimuth and vertical, it's like in the eye of the storm or eye of the sun. And so that almost brings out the very best of, in this case, Jupiter. And so that just happens to be during the full moon, as that full moon illuminates. All right, so very special topic there. Now we get into February over here. I probably should make this a little bit more highlighted. Yeah, there's a lot of conjunctions, but it's starting to break down. Now, there's still a lot of squares, as you are familiar with, and we look at those as, well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just realize that the squares are still there, and by the end of February is when it really starts to tailor off. So all throughout February, we're looking at that continued square thing, and towards the end of February, it's going to start to tailor off. And what I mean here is all these red squares. At least we've got less of them as before, but still a lot of squares, more than normal. And these, again, about sort of conflict, misunderstanding, tension, friction, just it's not energy that easily flows through here. Now, this is a slide for Thursday the 28th, and this is the full moon. A lot happening here. And you say it's not just a T-square. A T-square is formed when you have an opposition, and you've got 3 here, but the main one is Sun opposite Moon, which makes it a full moon. It goes exact at 1:14 p.m. Central Time on January 28th, and the moon is in Leo, but it also has, this T-square is formed by 2 90-degree positions along with an opposition. So the T-square means that we are experiencing, you could end up in a trap, and the trap is here with the wounded warrior. I say the wounded warrior, that's a misnomer. It's just that Mars in Taurus is weakened a lot. He's not wounded per se. He's just weakened. He's in decrement, and Uranus is in fall, so they're both a little bit weakened, but you've got the rebel and the warrior together. Mars they're only 4 degrees apart, so both of those are the trap. And then you've got, just so you know, you could expect Black Moon Lilith is headed back towards Uranus, so getting closer to that by the end of the week. But anyway, we're going to be talking more about this full moon tomorrow, 9 a.m. or 9:15 at Central Time on the live show. But just keep in mind, you have, at the time of the full moon, you have Jupiter Cazimi with the sun, and that means within 17 degrees. And that's exactly what's happening. Jupiter within 17, not degrees, minutes, 17 minutes is Cazimi. So at this point, you've got a supercharged Jupiter full of optimism, wisdom, philosophy, and that's like shining with the sun. The sun is like taking that energy and beaming it to the moon, which would be your emotions. And so hidden in this very dramatic feeling is going to be some wisdom in there. So this is going to permeate out all week long. It's going to start off with a bang, and it might look real dramatic out here, but there's going to be that sense of wisdom in this chunk of time. You're going to get packets of data, hopefully, if you know what you're looking for. So we'll hopefully talk more about that in the solution phase of this CIRF report. Then keep in mind, you also have Venus and Pluto together. We'll explore this a little bit more tomorrow. But sort of, they go conjunct right here at the time of the full moon. That's big. These are a transformation of relationships. It's like another cycle. It feels like things are very much disrupted, potentially. Your financial life could be feeling like it's ending. And again, Pluto, the destroyer, if you will, but it's also the builder, and it's deeply subconscious stuff. This could be also representative of inner power. And so maybe you do generate this sort of tumbling effect on your relationships has a big effect on generating a sense of subconscious power. And we'll get into more of this chart tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Central Time. Friday, the 29th, we have, now the sun is past Jupiter and Saturn. So big picture, we have Jupiter and Saturn in a combust state, which is very much weakened and drawn down. So you went from, on the full moon, these potential very wise packets and optimism and philosophy and all these fortunes that Jupiter can offer, even luck. And that goes, it goes like a light switch. Boom. The closer you are to the sun outside of Cazimi, Now you're combust, so your light's dimmed by the sun. You can't even see the sun. It's just, all you can see is the sun. So the further away you get from it, your I'll call it weakness gets less. So you get stronger and stronger the further away you get from the sun. It just so happens the sun is mainly moving faster than both Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn will soon be outside of the combust and then strengthen. We'll talk about that. You have the emotions now still in Leo, but opposite your Mercury, your thoughts and communications. So there's a little bit of drama there. But then again, we've got Black Moon Lilith approaching. You got the rebel or the eccentricism and individuality of Uranus and Mars. I just want to get stuff done, and I want to push forward, and I want to fight, and that's all conflicted with the other side that we talked about as well. That's still that friction there. So that friction is going to continue through the first half of February, and away we go. Let's go to Saturday the 30th. We have Mercury going station and retrograde, meaning that he's going to stay a little bit longer in Aquarius. And I don't think, Mercury is not on the same vertical axis as the sun, so it's just going to be combust when those two, which camera, when they go this way. Mercury is going to go backwards in retrograde, and you might feel like a past review, if you will. Thoughts may be turning into the past. It just so happens that on this day, you've got the part of fortune crosses over conjunct with the South Node. And so in Sagittarius, it's like deep philosophy about what's happening what happened in the past, and maybe even finding fortune in past events. And so very fortunate to not be so quick to get rid of or squash or distract yourself from past memories. We've got Mercury in retrograde. Sorry for the dog. The post office just came and dropped the box off. Let's see here. So to counterbalance the what I written down was these two things together, the part of fortune over the South Node and Mercury retrograde, are really doing a nice sort of a help, like maybe like a crutch, with Jupiter now just being freshly into combust, which is really close to the sun and weakened at its biggest point. He's got some help with this, at least on Saturday the 30th. Sunday, you got the moon is going to be in charge of producing a lot of drama this week, starting with that full moon. But as she progresses around the zodiac, she's making a lot of interesting alignments. This one is going to be really dreamy. This is on the 31st, last day of January. So sort of a dreamy feel with Neptune. And then you've got this sort of catastrophizing thing. Venus just went through an overhaul with Pluto. That probably wasn't very pleasant at all. And now you've got the emotions with easily. That's a trine, so easy energy to Pluto. And it's an emotional roller coaster, if you will, or tragedy, or maybe catastrophizing. Or it could really, if you get to the center of this drama, it could be really powerful for you. It could be a real powerful force because Pluto is that inner power. And it's subconscious. Emotions generally are subconscious as well. So kick into gear and get aware of your emotional states, and you'll do well there. Monday the 1st, Saturn, good news, is out of the combust state, so outside of 8 degrees. And in Aquarius, Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, so back to just being himself, and loves being in Aquarius. So, security and control, but also like Could be hardship, but not just purposeless hardship. It's very purposeful. These are challenges that are going to hone your skills. And I know that's just sounds like a cop out, but it's true. Saturn is there not to just give you bull crap things and unneeded tasks. These are for a reason. And your oversoul or God or, is helping you through Saturn to give you exactly the challenges that you need so that you become that stronger soul or stay on your path. It doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like these are of benefit, but they are. You'll know it after you finish the challenge. Moon is having 3 easy energies to Jupiter, who's still weakened, Saturn, freshly out of combust, and Venus, who's just been through some tragedy through Pluto. So there's a lot of easy emotions there in Libra. So you just want to harmonize with people and all that sort of stuff. But Saturn is home and also fortified with lots of easy, emotional, peaceful, harmonious, relational Libra equity. So I don't think that there's a lot of chaos other than Black Moon Lilith getting closer and that tension from this massive square. Don't ever just throw out, don't let me forget about this square stuff, all right? Tuesday the 2nd, we have, look at the emotions, have all these different aspects. We've got easy energy over to Mercury retrograde. You've got the sun still plenty of distance away from Mercury, so they're acting autonomously at this point. But easy energy there. You got shut off now from Pluto, shut off from your inner power. That can grow tension to this death and rebirth cycle. So that could be also some sort of a catastrophizing, if you will. Again, but it's like a hardened catastrophizing. It's like you don't want to go there, and you might acquiesce and just go to the catastrophizing just to make it easier for you, creating more obstacles, by the way. And then you've got the adjustment over to Neptune. There's Neptune again. So your dreams are changing and morphing and adjusting, or your emotions are changing, morphing based on your dreams. It's back and forth. It's synergistic, both of those. Part of fortune sitting there in Aquarius. Look at all the Aquarian energy right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies and planets. That's a lot of Aquarian feel there. And Jupiter on his way to being whole again. And Mercury in retrograde. But other than that, just a lot of emphasis on Aquarian, the individuality and the collective good. Both of those seem like contradictory, but they're not. The Aquarian observer, those who were able to observe last week with the eyes wide open, remember those eyes wide open? I interpreted more of as a shock, like, oh my God. But I think eyes wide open was better served to be looking hard, keep your eyes open, keep turning over stones, and don't let these people be hypocrites. All right. Wednesday the 3rd, we have the other bookend. The beginning of the week, we started with a T-square, and we end the week on February 3rd with another T-square. Now, this one is extra dramatic because on one corner, look at the look at the degrees of these. Black Moon Lilith at 2 degrees Taurus, Moon at 2 degrees Scorpio, and Venus 2 degrees in Aquarius. We have another Aquarian participant, and we reach 7. That's crazy. So, but the trap in this case is multifaceted. As you can see, multiple T-squares in there. But the biggest one is Venus. Relationships become your potential trap. And, security and control. These two together, I'm not so sure. It's a hardship relationship or controlling relationship. That's all a trap. Don't be there. And then this can feel like Black Moon Lilith together with Uranus, with an eccentricism and independence and insight of Uranus. The fire of Black Moon Lilith, the death-ish, that feeling, that can't feel good. So, and there's not much over here to hang your hat on. You've got the ghost of the full moon that you may or may not be able to feel. This is a full week 6 days afterwards. So the possibility of you being under that influence is very small, but you can be over here. And that's where our solution is focused on. Okay. So it works double. I know there's nothing over here at this point, but with the solution, if you know what the influence is, you can choose to have different behaviors. You can choose your behaviors if you are aware of your emotional influences. If you aren't aware of your emotional influences, then you're just a regular human who's just trying to get rid of discomfort, and you do it subconsciously, which creates an escape. All right, so your lesson today is, even though there's nothing over here, you can choose to be over here, and that's where our solution's going to go based on where the full moon was. Okay? I know that might have sounded confusing, but you'll get it. I'll show you the calculator that I used to derive all that. All right, continuing with the I-Ching reading. The influence, according to the I-Ching, was 29. Guess what that is? Water over water. Dangerous depths. We already mentioned that. I don't need to go through, read all this stuff. It's the same in the I-Ching. It's the archetype is the same. It's emotion. And all the emotions bring in certain things. It can feel very dark and dreary. It can feel like you're being tossed around by the storm. That's totally natural. And it might feel like you're drowning. Some people report not being able to breathe in their emotional states. And that's what this big influence is all about. It's consuming, right? Well, that's just the influence, folks. Let's now take a pause, get to our sponsor, which is Intervention Therapy, and we'll be back for the solution. Hang on. All right. And if you are in Arkansas and are having problems with any mental health issue, go to intervention.com and hit contact and contact me. But also we do astrology readings. We can do human design readings. And so you can find out your place based on your birth chart. And we can even do projected charts. So if you're interested in that, intervention.com. All right, the solution, if you did put the change lines in, there was only one, it became very yin, and it's 7. Earth over water. It comes down to organized discipline. Now this matches, interestingly, it matches Mike Adams' report, in my opinion, on the 25th, and the 25th of January. And he outlines some homework that really seem to overlap with what this I-Ching is really trying to say. Let power be in check by the willing acceptance of a common discipline and the submission to a higher authority for the common good. When life is in balance, evil impulses are checked by human decency. In the realm of government, a good relationship between army and state is critical. I find this incredibly encouraging, even, that the I-Ching is pointing to us about the military, the army, specifically the army in this case, but in the broader sense, military. Only when the army is disciplined can the state be protected from disruptive outside forces. For this balance to be preserved, government must be steady and benevolent towards its own people. And we know that they haven't been benevolent towards its own people all across the world. We know this, even in the United States. You can see it. rights being taken away left and right, literally. Okay, solidarity is essential for success. So that's where we bring in Mike Adams' suggestions. And we're going to get into the rave. It's incredible how he talks about expose this administration, but also the hypocrisy. Don't let them off the hook. Just like last week, keep your eyes wide open, but it's also do something about it. Expose it. Don't make stuff up and just report the facts, but he says expose the hypocrisy. Also, work to actively de-escalate all violence. And then he also activates and says that we should be actively holding local and state officials accountable for for unconstitutional actions. And so anyway, I like this because it works into the organization and discipline aspect of our I-Ching solution. All right. Now let's do our conversion chart. We took our full moon, we plopped this into the calculator, and what we get is hexagram 31 in the rave mandala, and we get a solution, sidereal solution of Cancer. No, that's not a 69. That's Cancer. And so you're probably scratching your head going, we don't have a Cancer solution very often. And that's correct, because Cancer is one of the smaller constellations. Remember that sidereal is where you go outside, look up, and this is where the stars actually are. And we use it for very specific reasons. Go look at the starter video, the beginner's guide, if you want more information on why we do the sidereal thing. But let's look at the rave real quick. This is interesting to me, in my opinion. Hexagram 31, the gate of leading. So basically what it's saying, and this is, by the way, I would zoom in, but you can see the full moon is right on the edge of 31. It's definitely in 31, but it's in the last position. So line 6, application. It says actions which match the words and thus guarantees success. Leadership whose expression and action must be one and the same. In other words, in the decrement, it gives a just says it, hypocrisy, a superficiality in an application that borders on hypocrisy and is justifiably treated accordingly. Hypocrisy according to leading in words, but not action. Can I say that in a simpler way? Yes. Basically, you need to walk the walk and talk the talk, because look at this, the law of friction, whether active or passive, that engenders transference and thus influence. Basically, what this hexagram and line is saying that from the drama, the influence from the drama, which is undoubtedly from multiple factors, and it's indicated in all the different technologies that we've used, you're going to feel strong this week. And in that feeling is going to come out, and it's going to influence others. Even if you don't think that you're influencing, this is saying you are influencing by its very nature. And hence, the way to successfully navigate this is, first of all, my suggestion is to be aware of it. And then, according to this, is to don't be a hypocrite. So, number one, don't be incongruent, where you're saying one thing and feeling another or doing another. That's incongruent. And then don't be a hypocrite. In other words, don't hold other people accountable if you yourself isn't doing these things. All right. Finally, solution slide. We're about 34 minutes into it. Here is the influence, folks. It's drama. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it could have multiple meanings. We got actors out there, and that's undoubtable at this point. Definitely some acting out there. Think Castle Rock, think production, think keeping your eyes wide open for these weird things, these anomalies that shouldn't be in this movie that we're watching. All right. But the drama also means that you're having a lot of emotional, as above, so below. So you're going to see this out there, but you're also going to feel it inside of you. Okay. And then according to the rave, it connects you from the influence to the solution by way of transference. So you're going to feel this and you're not going to be able to help it. You are going to be influencing other people through that drama. All right. So here's the solution. I-Ching says organized discipline. As long as we're all on the same page, getting on a team that you agree with and that everyone's on the same page. Simplify the purpose. That helps. And go at it. Actively go at it. Rave Mandala, Gate 31, line 6 says, walk the walk, talk the talk. Sidereal Cancer says, you're going to have to feel these feelings. That's just the way it is. Allow those to be there. But it also gives an edge to protective, protection. That could be indicated as well in this week, this coming week. But caring, compassion, maternal, creative. That Leo full moon in the tropical is also creative. Leo's creative. The water allows you to be more creative, etc. So here's the overall triangulation. Expect a full smorgasbord of emotional experiences. That's the drama and the multiple sense that we talked about. And the moon is going to be a major source of that changing drama this week as she flips around and starts making all those different alignments. Synchronistically, where does moon find home to? Well, the sign of Cancer. So synchronistically, the sidereal Cancer happens to be the solution, giving us the ability to sense and experience the drama. Isn't that ironic? A lot of Cancers, though, be aware that they get easily lost in their full experience. It's hard to come out of that, bring your awareness out of the dangerous depths enough to realize that you're having a human experience. It's your mind and your thoughts and your emotions are all in it, in this fantasy almost, although it feels very real. It is real. So what you have to do is allow yourself to feel while you're being aware that you're feeling. Okay, that's it. It sounds so simple, but it's not. It's called diffusion in act therapy. So keep yourself in check by avoiding moodiness, pessimism, nagging. I think that Jupiter stamp on the full moon, at the full moon exact point, that Jupiter influence will help you feel less moody and pessimistic, by the way, hopefully. And instead focus on just allowing the experience drama to be there. Let it offer you creativity. Emotions can give you creative insights. Meanwhile, be part of a team, your team. Make sure the team has a strong, consolidated purpose, and make sure that purpose aligns with your purpose. And if it doesn't, find another team. And the rave mandala instructs us to identify hypocrisy if it exists. Don't let it go unspoken, and be active in calling out hypocrisy. Avoid hypocrisy in yourself. That's the exclamation point there. Walk the walk, talk the talk, and don't have any apologies. All right. Questions, comments below. Hey, I really appreciate the amount of comments the last video. I couldn't even get to all of them, so I apologize if I didn't respond to yours. It wasn't on purpose. I try to get on there every once in a while and put some comments in and respond, but I love all the activity that's happening in our group. I want to thank a special thank to all the folks that are on the Telegram and really actively engaging. It's helping me. So I want you to know that I'm reading everything. I may not have time to respond to just about all of them. I love the videos that you guys are sharing. I can't always resubmit those, although I want to, because I don't want to resubmit it if I haven't watched it all. such as Average Working Joe submitted the Cliff High thing. I had enough time to watch a few minutes of it. Love the stuff, but I couldn't watch the whole thing, and I don't want to, just automatically post something that I haven't, fully vetted. But anyway, I would like to get back to that video when I have time. But so many of you have responded it and put some material on there. Thanks to Kirsten, really keeps me in check. And that was not a derogatory statement. I want to be held in check. I want to be held to these same standards. If I'm being a hypocrite, I want to be called out on that. Not that you're doing that, but keep me in check, keep me mind open, and let's be a team with this simple purpose of healing the collective mind, cleaning up this garbage, finding the truth, keep it simple, helping facilitate us back to the republic that we originated with. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's do this tomorrow morning. And if you can't be there tomorrow morning for the live show, then at least get on Telegram and respond to the post that I will make a little bit later on, hey, if you've got any questions for the live show, comment here. All right. Other than that, thanks, everybody. Have a great, dramatic week. Enjoy.